welcome to another video. This video we have Nikita with us. She is the founder of FANG Path, which essentially is a company which helps people get into all these FANG companies. And yeah, in this video, we deep into what these companies actually look for, both in LinkedIn on your resume.
Thank you, first of all, to you, and hi everyone. Myself, Nikita Gupta, and as Devansh said, I'm one of the founders of my own startup, which is called FANGPath. So I started this in May last year in 2020, and I have recently moved from Singapore to US, where I've stayed for 5 years and worked with the leading global media groups, namely Omnicom Media Group and WPP as senior data analyst. I have been also nominated twice in the Data Leader category for Women in IT Awards Asia. I have also traveled more than 17 countries globally. So this is my kind of journey. I've been born and brought up in India. I did my bachelor's in India, and then I worked as a software engineer in India for a year. And then I moved to Singapore for my master's in business analytics. And as I mentioned that I recently moved to US, and currently I'm also working as marketing manager for one of the leading e-commerce company in US also, and also running my own startup, which is Flipkart.
You're managing a lot of things at the same time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes it becomes a little hard, but like I'm enjoying, and it kind of helps me to learn different things and to kind of do different types. And with especially with FangPath, like I can tell you, it's so amazing. I have been networking and meeting and also helping so many candidates who are looking for the right guidance. So that kind of at the end of the day, I'm so satisfied that I'm doing some really good job.
Great. So yeah, that brings me to my first question. So how's the journey as a founder? Your experience with FangPath, when did you start? How is it growing? How is it going? What's the future like?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned that I started it like 6, 7 months back in pandemic COVID time, and the major reason why I started it because I myself like was one of the job seekers when I moved from Singapore to US, and I was looking myself for a opportunity, full-time opportunity, and I have always been very active on LinkedIn. Like in the past, all my job opportunities I have got through LinkedIn, like through my connections, through sending messages, or even directly applying through LinkedIn. So I just thought, and not thought, but before even that, I saw that a lot of people were posting around, like using that hashtag open to work. They were changing the logo of their photos, and they were like, we got laid off, we are struggling, it's been like months and months, and we are not getting even a single interview call. That made me had a quick discussion with my co-founder. She's currently working as an HR in Amazon. So we discussed, and she also told me that she at least like she on a per day basis she get like 15-20 messages from people saying that please give us referral in Amazon. And that kind of made her realize and me realize that it's not easy to just give the referral. Even if we give the referral, people are still not getting the calls, and the reason is that their profile, their resume is not standing out. And even referral is basically you are wasting your referral. Like people are referring you, people are helping you, but you are not getting any calls in return. So that is where we thought, like, why not bring in the mentors who are working in the FANG companies, people who are working there, and with their help these people and provide the right guidance to get into the companies. So that is where we started this FANG path, and the name originated because everyone knows that FANG became very famous. This acronym becomes very famous worldwide, and everyone is like we want to join Facebook, we want to join Google, and it's their dream companies like Amazon and all. So we were like, if your profile is good enough to get into any of these companies, if your profile or your resume shortlisting, someone is approaching you directly through LinkedIn for any of these companies, you're good to go for any organization. So that is where we had this name FANGPath.
So what are the things that essentially a FANG company looks? So I'll be covering the
Yeah,
resume part initially, then I'll be moving on to the
sure.
LinkedIn part later in this video.
Yep, yeah, sure,
Uh,
sure.
so what are the essential things that a FANG company looks for in a resume while selecting or shortlisting it people?
Yeah, so basically there are a few things or few, I mean, tips I would like to share with the audience who's kind of listening with me, listening this audio or the video today. So it's like I have almost seen like more than 1,000 resumes in last 6, 7 months, and I can say that people sometimes don't understand what they're missing, why their resume is getting auto rejected. So the thing is, I don't know if your audience is who is listening, that they are aware of ATS, but I would like to kind of share what is ATS. ATS is app called applicant tracking system. So a lot of companies, not only these FANG companies, but mostly companies have started using ATS as their first step of the hiring process. And once you apply directly either through LinkedIn or even directly through any of the portal, it should pass through that ATS. So if it's not passing through then ATS, it won't even pass till the HR. No, where an HR or an hiring manager can get hold of your resume if your resume is not even passing the ATS. So you need to make sure, first of all, the first step is that your resume should pass ATS system and it should get shortlisted. So there are a lot of formats. Like we have also built a free format. It's available on Overleap, and I can share the link with you, which you can share with your audience. That you can use that link and have your Overleap format. And even in my LinkedIn post some days back, I have created a Word document also where I've shared an ATS approved template, which people should use. Basically, it's a one page. That is where you should use to kind of pass. And I'm not saying it's just the template that will make you pass the ATS, but on the same hand, you need to put in the right keywords. You need to have those things for related to the jobs you are applying. So for example, you're applying for a software engineering role, you need to have those keywords or those things in your resume which will make your resume pass the ATS. So when people come and people say me that we are getting auto rejected rejections and we are not getting anything in return, we have not got any single like a message from any recruiter, this is where the problem is coming in, and this is where your resume is getting rejected. So definitely the first step is go through the job descriptions again and again, multiple times, and make sure those keywords are there. And why I'm like focusing and saying keywords, so the keywords are not just the technical things what you're working as. Again, as an example, if you're a software engineer, only Java, C++, and all those technical terms are not only just the keywords. Keywords are more than that. They are soft skills, they are hard skills, and they are technical skills. So you need to make sure that all those keywords you pick from the job descriptions you are applying, and you have those skills or those keywords in your resume. So that's where I say that people tell me, okay, Nikita, I have like 10 keywords which are just technical things what I have done. I'm saying it's good that you have it, but as I mentioned that they are not just the keywords. And when we internally pass through our ATS, like people who come to us and take our services, when we pass their resume through ATS, which we have, we generally see that their resume is just 20% matching, 30% matching, which actually shows us that is where they're getting auto rejected. So that's why I say that you should work on it. And on the same hand, there's one more thing. If you are a fresher or a recent grad and you don't have much experience, then you should focus on your education skills as well as your projects. That is where will make you stand out, and that is where you can kind of focus because you don't have work experience to showcase or focus on your resume. So that is where the things are there. Don't mention your school, uh, don't mention your CGPA and all, because that will be there. It should only be there if it's like too high, like if you have like more than 9 CGPA or 9.5, not even 9, even 9.5 out of 10, then you should just mention it, otherwise remove it. So there are a lot of small things which I really kind of like, it's difficult for me to kind of explain over the video today, but there are so many things which these companies and people not even aware of it, and people just like kind of neglect them, or because of not much awareness how and what should they write, they just write like things which they feel are important but actually they are not important.
But then people, seniors talk about the importance of CGPA. So if we are not mentioning it in resume, so should we even work hard for it? Uh,
No, so the thing is like if you're a fresher, but if you have a very relatively low CGPA, I don't even think that if even if you mention that, it's going to stand out and it's going to kind of help you get an interview call. So it's better.
yeah.
I mean, it's better that if you write something which is making a difference and making an impact, because in resume, people, I'm not saying brag things, but people showcase that okay, this is where we have achieved, this is where we were the leaders, this is our projects, and this is how we have made an impact. So if that impact is missing, I mean, definitely the calls will be less, and the chances are that you won't get a call.
What are the things that companies absolutely hate? So like it's like if they have certain kind of things in resume, they'll company will
Mhm.
pakka se reject. So is there anything like that?
As I mentioned that like hiring manager and HR process will only start if your resume pass the ATS. So it like that's an software. Like it's running on an algorithm. It's not even like a human. So you need to make sure first of all you pass that software. If you pass the software, now comes the HR. So HR will see your resume in like within 8 to 10 seconds. So within 8 to 10 seconds, if she or he like likes your resume, they will pass it to the hiring manager. If they don't like it, they will just reject it. So you need to make sure you have a summary. That is really, really important. Like, and the summary should be just like 2 to 3 lines, not more than that. Like I've seen people writing paragraphs in their summary. I don't know what they're writing, but they just write paragraphs in their summary, and
Yeah.
they're just writing that, okay, this is my hobby, this is mine. I'm like, this is your resume, not your bio data. So you need to understand the difference between your CV, resume, and your bio data. Just don't write stuff like, okay, I like watching TV, I like singing. No one cares. No
Yeah.
one cares. And like, you are just wasting your space in your resume. So please make sure that if you're writing clearly your summary, because as I said, the HR just gives 8 to 10 seconds. So if clearly your 2 3 lines summarize what you are looking for, what you have done, how much experience you have, what exactly you are looking for, the HR will read through it and HR will pass it forward. If that summary is very weird, if your summary is like too long, obviously she won't even or he won't even go through the whole thing.
Mm.
So you need to make sure that your first, and also your header part, that is really, really important. Again, you need to have all the clickable links basically in your header. I have seen so many people just writing their LinkedIn profile, but it's not clickable. They just write it there. And sometimes, for example, you are a software engineer or a very technical people, you should have your GitHub link, you should have your technical skill, like, or somewhere you have put your code, like, which is an
Mm.
open source. Share it. Why you're not sharing it? And make sure it's clickable.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have time to copy paste it, right? If I am a hiring manager, if it's not clickable, I won't for sure copy paste it. And you are missing a chance, right? Like, you
Yeah.
want to show him or her that, okay, this is what you have done, this is what you have achieved. But if it's not clickable, they won't even click on it.
Bother clicking on it. So we okay. So not bragging, but we are from a decent technical college. So BITS is a kind of a
Yep.
reputed in the
Yep.
reputed ones.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
would be having good companies for on-campus and off-campus
Mhm.
placements. So
Yep.
do you think we need to make some changes while applying to all on-campus or off-campus? Because I think it's relatively hard to get placed
Yep.
off-campus, right? So what are the
Yeah.
things that
So
one should keep in mind? Uh,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I agree to the point that BITS actually a good university in India, and it's very well known. So definitely you will have good companies coming on campus, but if everyone get placed through on campus, that it's awesome. If that's because everyone knows that's not a reality, a lot of people will struggle and a lot of people won't be able to get through on campus, so they have to go off campus, right? So when you are going off campus, there are two ways: either you go through a referral, and either you just directly apply. So if you're going through a referral, still you need to make sure your resume is good enough. If, like, otherwise, as I mentioned, your referral is wasted. The second thing comes in when you apply directly through online or anywhere, through like even through LinkedIn or Indeed or anywhere. So basically, then, as I mentioned, comes in the ATS first step. For sure, you need to make sure your resume, because I have like in the past, in last 6 months, we have done multiple webinars in IIT Kanpur, IIT Delhi, and DTU and other universities in India, and we have seen their resumes, which they are making based on their career center guidance, that they have some template which they have to follow, and every university generally do that. I don't know why they do it, but they have their standard template university wise, and they give it to the candidates and they have to follow it strictly. So for the on campus, you can do that because obviously your university is saying, but when you're doing for off campus, don't use that template. I mean, definitely try and use an ATS approved template, add those keywords which are relevant, and make those changes which are required based on the jobs, because obviously there will be slightly different. I'm not saying completely different, because if you're targeting just one role, if you're targeting, like I've seen people targeting like multiple roles, then it's a completely different story. But if you're targeting, like for example, just software engineering, then there might be some slightly different keywords in all the job descriptions you are applying for. So go through it thoroughly again and again, again and again, and rework on your resume again and again, and make sure if there's any gap or something. And as I mentioned, that if you are a fresher, then add your projects in a right way, as well as add your freelancing work and all those things, because that is the thing you will get an upper hand as compared to other people basically. And yeah, for freshers especially, mention your education at the top, then your other things. But if you are a working experience, your work experience should go up and your education should come down. So that is where the difference should come in the resume of a fresher and an experienced person.
Yeah, totally makes sense. So we would also, so education, then experience, then projects and stuff like
Project.
that, and then on the
Yep.
right side, skills and
No, no, no. You should not have two-sided resume. Always have one column resume. Never, never, ever have that. I have seen that. Please, please, whoever watching this, please don't make those two column, because as I mentioned, ATS, what companies these days are using, they are trained in a way that they are actually rejecting those two columns. So it's better that you don't go past your resume, which is two column. Just make it one page, like one column thing, and use that template rather than using that one. And don't add colors, your photographs. Oh no, I don't know why people do that, but they add their photographs, and they add like pink color, blue color, and all those. I have no clue from where they even get those templates, but please, please, please. And when you don't have experience, when you are fresher, how can your resume even exceed one page? That is my question to all the freshers who are watching. How can you even have like a 3-page resume when you don't even have an experience? Please just stick to one page. Like, no one will have time to go through your 3-page resume. So just have it in one page and mention all the things you have. And a lot of times people also ask me that if we don't have experience, then what should we do? Like as a fresher, obviously you are applying as a fresher, you don't have experience. Do some freelancing, do some projects. And I know that even I did my bachelor's, and I have so many projects when I was doing my bachelor's. Every semester, every subject, I had one project. At least for me, I had it. So take few subjects out, a few main projects out of it, and just add those. Don't add all 10 or 20 projects, and don't just remove all the projects also. So I've seen both sides where people are not
yeah.
adding even one project, and I've also seen people adding 20 projects. So just stick to like 2 to 3 projects which are like very good and relevant to the jobs you are applying.